All right, we are moving on in our advanced HTML and CSS unit. We're on to lesson 5.5, which is going to discuss spans. Now, spans you're going to feel like are pretty similar to divs. The main difference is that divs are going to create like a block or a different essentially separate sections on our website, while spans give us the opportunity to just adjust like slight inline text. And so again, you're going to learn about that as we get started with the video right here in CodeHS. Remember, it is really important to watch this. It's very short. In fact, this introductory video is less than 5 minutes. It's 4.5 minutes long, and it'll give you a great introduction into what we're going to be doing this week. Like I always say, by watching the video, it's going to help you with taking the quiz. The quiz is just one question this week, and it asks, what is the difference between a span and a div? And as I just attempted to explain, a span is used to group and style inline elements, right? Like elements on like a single line, for example, while a div, as you guys learned in our previous lesson, creates an entire line break, right? So that it formats a section. I'm going to go ahead and click on that option, which is option C. We'll check our work, and sure enough, that is correct. And how did I know that? Thank you to the video that we just watched. Now, as you get started today, there's an example that you can explore. This is the same example that was shown in the tutorial or in the video that we just watched. You'll notice, right, how they included these spans, right? And then again, like you can see the formatting that we gave it on the style sheet, right, allows it to be a little bit more bold, underlined, and really stand out to the audience. And so that's what a span can do, as it really like creates like an inline styling, as opposed to a div, right, which is going to create these line breaks in between sections. Okay, so that's sort of the main difference, and there's like a little visual of it. Let's go ahead and look at the first exercise. The first exercise, it says it's called vocabulary, and it goes over some important vocabulary words. It says we should surround each vocabulary word and the colon following it with a span tag. Give the span tag the class vocab. Okay, then after we've done that, we're going to add a style rule for vocab that makes the font green and bolder. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to review the assignment. Remember that it says that we're just surrounding each word, each vocabulary word, and the colon following it with a span tag. All right, so here's the vocab word, right? And there's the colon. So that's what needs to be inside the span tag. Okay, if we look in the doc section and need a reminder for how to do this, we can look at grouping with spans, right? That's going to give us an example, and should give us an example of how we will create something like that. So for example, here's the example that's given in the doc section. Remember, the doc section is just an outstanding cheat sheet for you to use in terms of the code that you need for these assignments. Now, in this case, we need to set the span class to vocab. So notice I'm going to do two things. One is I'm going to change the word big to vocab. And two, you notice I deleted that caret at the end. And the reason I did that is when I enter it back in, it will automatically generate this end tag for the span. And so you'll remember in the directions, it clearly states, right, surround each vocabulary word and the colon. So after the colon, right, is where I'm going to paste that end tag. And now that's what I'm going to do for every vocab word. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight this, right, copy it, and I'll just go ahead and I'll drop it in front of every single vocab word. Just a quick copy and paste. And then, like I just did, I'm going to delete that caret, and it's going to give me the end tag. Now, I'm only going to do that one time. I'm trying to make my life a little bit easier because now I can cut that end tag, and I can put the end tag right after the colon of each vocab word. So again, right after the colon, where I'm going to put that end tag. Notice I'm just pasting it through, and that helps me move through the assignment a bit quicker. Now, if it's helpful to you to learn by typing each of these in, great, more power to you. But again, that's not required. I'm showing you a little bit of a shortcut. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to make sure my style sheet is linked here. So now I'm going to go to the style sheet, and I need to go ahead and I need to add the style. So as a reminder, you may have noticed before when I went to the grouping with spans section, right? It gives me an example of exactly what my styling will look like. So I can simply just copy that, go to my style page, paste it. I know that this is not going to be, the span class was not big, it was vocab, right? Oops, spell that right. So remember my span class was vocab. If I look on my index page, you can see that's what I named it. Span class is vocab. So when I put something in my style sheet, if it's going to read it, it's looking for the word vocab. There it is. So what does my text need to do, right? It says add a style rule for vocab that makes the font green and bolder. So we don't even need font size. So I'm going to get rid of that, but we do need font weight. So I can keep that. So font weight is bolder. Okay. And just, you can see that now it's bolder, right? If I got rid of that for a second, this is what it looks like originally, right? But now that I'm adding my styling for my span, right? I can put bolder, and then also the assignment asked me to set the color to green. So now you'll see when I hit save and then I hit run, my vocab words only will each be bold and green. And anytime I set a span class to vocab for any word, it would go ahead and make it bold and green. So it's as simple as that. All right, let's check and make sure that we met all the requirements. I'm going to go to check code. We did. I feel good about that. I'm going to hit submit and continue. And we're ready to move on to our next assignment. The next one is called text decoration. It says this is the first paragraph of Moby Dick by Herman Melville. You're going to add some decoration to the chapter title by wrapping chapter 1 in a span tag. So just chapter 1 should be in a span tag. Then we're going to add a CSS rule for span so that the font is dark cyan, 40 pixels big, and has the font family Fantasy. Okay, so I'm going to hit let's go. Okay, and I'm going to start by, I know right here, here's chapter 1. So I need to add a span. Okay, remember, we're just going to go span, and it didn't actually tell us to set it to any class or name. So I'm just going to simply do a start and end tag, a start and end span tag. Okay, so there's that. All right. Now I'm noticing right here, look at this in green. That's always like a warning in Code HS. It says add a link to the style sheet. So if we need to add a link to the style sheet, we need a link to our style sheet. So let me go to my docs section again, my little cheat sheet, go to add external CSS, and here's the link right here. So I'm just gonna make my life a little easier instead of typing all that out. I'm gonna paste it in there. But remember, it's not called mystyle.css. I just called my style sheet style.css. So I need to make sure it only shows the name of the file that it's looking for. Okay. Once I go to the style sheet, right, style.css, see how they match up. I just need to set a rule for this style, and let's see what it needs to be. So it says, first we need a font that's dark cyan. So I'm just going to say color dark cyan. Okay. Let's see. And it's always kind of fun, like when you do these exercises, you learn about new colors, you kind of get the idea of different sizes, right? Different font families, and so that's kind of nice. So next thing it says it needs to be font 40 pixels big. So if we want to change the size, we do font size 40 pixels. Okay, and then lastly, it says has the font family Fantasy. So font family is going to be fantasy. All right, and I actually haven't used that font before, so we'll see what that looks like. So unfortunately, I didn't. Let me just do this really quick. I'm just going to cut that. Let's see what it looks like originally. It looks just like this. Okay, and now that we've added this styling to our span, remember we added our span tag right here around chapter 1. So what do you think is going to happen on the page? Nothing's really going to change, right? But we should see this should be larger and the color dark cyan and the font family of fantasy. So I'm going to hit run. And sure enough, there it is. Slightly larger, different font family, and different color. Let's check and make sure we met all the requirements. If it's not working for you, do not forget to include this link to the style sheet. Very, very important step. And let's move on to our final assignment of the week, or of this, at least for this assignment. So the final exercise, we're coming back to our career site, and we're going to style some special pieces. It says copy your HTML code from the previous career profile website exercise. So I'm going to start with that. I'm just going to right click, remember, so it doesn't navigate me away from this page, and I'm going to say open link in new tab. Okay, I'm going to just hit let's go, and then we'll come back to the assignment over here. So to move my assignment from one place to the next, notice I opened it up here. I'm going to make sure I know what page I'm on. So on the index page, I highlight everything. I'm going to copy. I'm going to move it over here. I want to make sure I'm on my index page. Make sure your pages are on the correct, are linked correctly. Go to the job info page. Go to the job info page. Re-highlight everything and hit copy. You get rid of what's up here in green. And I'll hit paste. And then lastly, I need my style sheet. I'm going to copy it. And I will paste it. Now I'm going to just go ahead and close my old one because I don't want to get confused and mark up the wrong thing. So let's see what we're supposed to do. It says, let's fill in the last piece of information on the job info HTML. Okay, so I'm going to go to my job info.html. Okay, and it looks like the last thing that I haven't completed is the related careers. So it says the related career section. Yep. It says you should be able to find this information from the BLS site that you used before. Okay, so for the to get to that website down here at the bottom, let's see. Here's the Bureau of Labor Statistics is what the BLS.gov is. I'm going to click on that, and actually I'm just going to make sure I right click and open link in a new tab. Okay, and it says make an unordered list that contains at least 3 related careers that sound interesting to you. So I'm going to change right here where it says search. I'm going to change the career from geoscientist to CTE teacher. That was the career that I chose. So let's see. Give it a second to load. And then there it is. It's right here at the top. So I'm going to click on that. And here's like the page for my career. Okay, so make sure you navigate to the page for your career. And then I need to find related careers. So I'm going to go to the option that says similar occupations, and I'm going to click on that. And here's a list of all sorts of similar occupations. So let me just refresh my memory. It says we need to write down a job title and a very short description. Okay, so here's an example. If I chose anthropologist and archaeologist, and then they study ancient remains of people to learn about the development of cultures. Okay, so let's start with that. I need to pick 3 careers that sound interesting to me, and put them on my page. Make an unordered list. Okay, great. So let's start by coding an unordered list. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and just like we did before, above here, right? We did an unordered list, and we know we need 3 list items, right? It tells us right here. It says contains at least 3 related careers, at least. So if you want to do more, great. Me personally, I'm going to do 3. So I got list item number 1, 2, 3. Okay, and let's find the careers that we're going to choose. I'm going to just make it really quick. We'll choose instructional coordinators. And they gave us a very specific, it says job title and then colon. And then we just write a short description. So let's do middle school teachers. That was my first job. I was a middle school teacher in Redwood City before I came to MA. And then the last one I'm going to choose is teacher assistant. And I put a colon after each one of those. And now I just need to really quickly get a quick description. So the first one I chose, already forgot, instructional coordinator. I know it says not to copy, but for the sake of time, middle school teachers. And then teacher assistant. All right, copy and wait for it, paste. All right, so we did that. So it says, yeah, don't read that part. Don't copy and paste. Oops. It says, once you've made the list, put each of the job titles in a span with the class job title. It should look like this. So that's nice. They give us the example right here. Let's copy it. And then you can see it just like our very first assignment that we did this week, the first exercise we did this week, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put a span and it's going to go right until after the colon. So that's a pretty easy thing to do for us. We've kind of done that already. So after where we've written list item, I'm just going to paste the span and then I'm going to, yeah, let's just do that. Paste there and paste here, right? Because we've got three different list items. And then remember what I can do. I can delete that last caret, re-enter it. It's going to give me the end tag for my span tag. I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to move it over here. So Control X is to cut, Control V is to paste, Control V, Control V. So now I've listed all of my spans. Okay, so easy. And now it says add the styles. And so you get an idea of like if I wanted to add a span here or anywhere around on my page, it'd be very easy to add it and add some extra formatting. Now the formatting that it says that we want to add, I'm going to go to my style page, right? And remember, it's looking for the span called job titles. So I'm just going to, we need to set the class, right? So period, the job title, open it up, and it tells us we have to give the job title the following properties. So we want to do font weight. Right? They tell us that, right? Font weight. It can like literally, I mean, I'm kind of surprised to be honest with you that they're giving us exactly what we're supposed to type in because I feel like we've graduated from that in a way. So that said, here, let me just, again, like I did in the previous assignment, let me cut that. We can run our assignment. Let's go to our job info page. Okay, here's what it looks like right now. We added our related careers. See it right here? So this is what we're going to see change now. So I'm going to paste back in my job title span, the styling for my job title span. I'm going to save it and I'm going to hit run. Let's see what happens. Oh, just kidding. Took us back to this other page. So you can see now my font is maroon. It's bold. And it just stands out like a little bit differently from the rest of the text. Let's make sure that everything's done correctly. Check the code, and we did it. Seems like it was a successful successful journey through our assignment and through the exercises. Congratulations on being done with lesson 5.5 and learning about spans. And congratulations on everything you guys are doing and how much you're learning.